where I would basically ask my question, which in this case would be how long you've been struggling with that, right? Now, again, both would serve the same purpose, but think to yourself as a setter, which one of these resonations would get you a better response? Which one of these resonations would put you up as an expert? Which one of these resonations is going to make the client be like, fuck, this guy knows what he's talking about? Again, this is super vague, right? And I don't blame you guys because that's what setters do. You guys don't think like a business owner, right? You guys are taught to like, you've learned to resonate, bada bada boom, and you move to the next step. That's what you know, right? But the expert's frame is probably the most ignored, but a super important and crucial part of the setting process. And that's the only reason why people in our community make the money they make is because they focus on the coach frame a lot, right? They go from being a setter to being a coach. They teach people, they coach them a bit, they show their expertise in the field, and then they ask the question and they move on, right? And by the time they pitch the call, these people are super excited. These leads are super excited. They're like, bro, I will love to jump on a call. Why? Again, there's a deeper psychology to this as well. Is when you're doing the coach frame, when you're taking the coach frame, what happens is you're describing their problems better than they can. Now, if you can describe someone's problem better than they can, that puts you up as an expert. For example, if you go to a doctor, right? You go to them because you don't know what's wrong with you. Now, the doctor would basically diagnose you and tell you exactly what your problem is and describe it better than you can and give you an exact step plan on how you can help it and how he's helped other people. Again, you would trust the guy to pay him enough money and buy into his service so you can recover, right? So if you're able to describe a client's problem better than he can or she can, you're automatically the expert in that case. And of course, that would help you get the kind of results that you want. Does that make sense? A quick thumbs up if that makes sense. Okay, Kendrick, it makes sense. Sounds good. Sounds good, Brian. Maddie, Vanilla. Sounds good. This is basically the coach frame. How simple is it? Right? So freaking simple. You just gotta stop being vague and giving better responses. But in order for you to go from the average setter to the setter that makes 10 grand a month, it doesn't take a lot, right? It's not like you're gonna learn something that's out of the world that's gonna take you to 10 grand a month. There's no secret sauce. It all boils down to knowing how to better your process and get the maximum results with the limited amount of leads that you speak with every single day. And this coach frame basically helps you do that, right? So if that makes sense. Moving to the next part, which is digging deeper into the convos. Now, if this is your first session with me, guys, you probably don't know this, which I would like to pin out and kind of tell you guys, is my approach with DM setting is entirely intent-based, which means nor me nor my students focus on pain, right? We don't try to go over and ask them like what kind of impact has it had on you, right? Or get them to like level 4 where they start crying and sending me voicemails of them crying and telling me about their past trauma and what happened in their life, XYZ. I don't do that. Our whole approach is based on the fact that when we propose the call, we should get that I would absolutely fucking love to jump on a call with you guys. That's what our approach is all about. To book as many calls as possible and have the highest intent within these leads so we can have 90% show up rate and 40% close rate, because that's been my close rate. You guys don't know, 60% for first week of last month was 60%, then 40%, then 45%, and then last week was around 30%, right? So really good show up rate, 90% plus, and a really good close rate. And of course, that only happens is when you can create enough intent where they're like, I would absolutely love to jump on a call with you guys. Because again, they know we're already the experts and they know we can help them. But at the same time, a lot of you guys don't do any digging at all, right? You guys go from one resonation to the next question, to the next question, to the next question. It's almost like you guys are, rather than actively, sitting down and listening to what the client is saying and listening between the lines is one of the things my coach used to say is listening between the lines of what they're saying. You guys are so focused on the next question that you're going to ask, right? That you completely miss out on potential points where you could dig in. Now, the way I dig in without coming off salesy is super simple. You look for emotional triggering words, right? You look for emotional triggering words. For example, let's say someone says, let's say it's a fitness offer, right? I'm working on a fitness offer, and the lead says that I'm successful in every area of my life, but I don't want to fall back when it comes to fitness. A lot of you guys would say, oh, that totally, right? That's something that happens with high performers. I totally understand. Most of our clients are that way. Boom, you move to the next question, right? But he used the word fallback. Do you have any idea what he means by that? Because I don't. What does he mean by fallback, right? So a lot of you guys would assume by fallback he might mean that I'd stay behind with fitness, right? For all we know, that's like a surface level. He might have a deeper reason for what he means by that. So just be like, fallback? What do you mean by that? Simple, right? Wait, a bit confused. What do you mean by fallback, right? Now, again, this would give you a deeper response to what he means by that, and you're digging into his problem and and the actual reason for why he want to make a change without coming off salesy. Now, does anyone know why this might not be salesy? Like, why am I saying this might not be salesy? Like, you're not going to come off salesy. Kendrick, what do you think?
I think it's because you just want to clarify what they said. It may be vague.
Exactly, exactly. The way I look at setting is like this. Where the fuck is the draw thing? There we go. So this is a wave, right? The way I look at setting is you got to be like water. You got to move, right? Sometimes prospect might mention pain first, you dig into that. Sometimes they mention goals first, you dig into that. Sometimes they mention problems first, you dig into that. Sometimes they mention finance first, you dig into that, right? You got to flow with the conversation. What shouldn't happen is if they're talking about how they're fucked up within their current job, and you start talking about how you have the greatest program in the world, right? Completely opposites. It's like you're going in a wave and then it freaking changes into like a completely different frequency. You don't want that, right? You got to move like a wave, smooth, right? You got to be smooth in in these conversations. And you only dig when you're given the opportunity to dig. And that's why I say it is so important to listen and read between the lines, right? Because a lot of people would say stuff like fallback. A lot of people would say stuff like struggling. A lot of people would say stuff like it's messed up, right? Or my job has long hours. I don't like it. You know, so many things that people say, and you have no idea what they actually mean by that thing, but you just assume it, right? You just assume that this thing would mean XYZ, so let me just resonate and move to the next step so I can get as many bookings as possible. What you guys don't understand is doing it that way is costing you more bookings than it's actually helping you, right? Because you don't clarify anything, you don't have a humanly conversation, and that's the reason your conversations seem robotic, right? That's the reason why your conversations can be replaced with an AI. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but 99% of the DM setters in the space, I could easily replace them with AIs. Bada bada boom. Implement that, resonation, question, right? But clarifying and asking them good questions is ultimately going to help you to have a great conversation, right? Where they feel involved, they feel heard, they feel understood. And if you're using the coach frame, it's going to put you up as an expert, right? And then when you propose the call, there's no fucking possible reason for them to say no. Does that make sense? Are we on the same page so far? Sounds good. And there's a quote that I always want you to remember, and I learned it again from one of my coaches, and it has helped me tremendously in my journey in the sales space, which is never assume when there's a way to find out. You never assume when there's a way to find out. You never assume what fallback might mean when you can just ask, what do you mean by that? You never assume what struggling means when you can just say, wait, a bit confused, what do you mean by struggling? You never assume when there's a way to find out. And Kareem has this quote that I absolutely love is you listen with the intent to understand, not with the intent to reply or ask the next question. I think it's something along the same lines, right? And again, in easy words, read between the lines. It's the same thing, right? RBL, read between the lines, understand what they might mean, clarify, ask questions, help them, and of course, then use the coach frame to come off as a coach so you can have a lot of so they can look up to you and be like, shit, this was the guy that I needed to scale my business. If it's not this guy, nobody else can help me because gosh, he got crazy good results. He sent me a testimonial. He knows what he's talking about. He can help me, right? So that's the coach frame. And this is how you dig without even coming off salesy is by simply clarifying and not assuming what they might mean by XYZ. Now, again, is this something out of the world? Probably freaking not. Something super simple, something basic. But how many setters are doing this? What, 5% if I'm being, humble, right? 10% maybe, but that's it, right? And this is the reason why some setters make shit ton of money and others just don't. Opening door to Q&A session, guys. What can I help you with? Walid. What's up, Walid, bro? How you doing?
Hey bro, what's going on? How are you?
I'm
Yeah,
good,
let
bro.
me just let me lower the hand. Yeah, you see, I'm struggling right now with one thing. You see, I'm in the niche of cryotherapy. You heard about before?
Uh, what therapy? I might have missed out
Yeah,
on that. Uh,
cryotherapy. It's a
Cryotherapy.
it's a technology for for the practitioners in the health and fitness industry, or the wellness and fitness
Mm,
industry. It's a new tech. So from your reaction, it's like that. It's hard to even just pitch that to the prospect. So
mm.
yeah. So
You're talking with business owners?
yep. Yeah, I'm a DM seller. I talk to med spa owners, gyms, chiropractors, PTs,
Mm,
the physical therapists. These guys they need our product, but they just don't know about it. So Yeah, how
Yeah.
would you go about it if you were in my
Yep.
place?
Yeah, super simple. Focus on their problems within their current system. So if your service is fixing a certain problem, when talking with these business owners, I would always try to figure out what they're doing already to get result with that certain part of business that you guys can help with, and how is that going, and if that can improve. And then boom, you propose the call and you help them with the solution. With business owners, you just gotta be more focused on figuring out what's wrong with their current system. Because these business owners don't care about anything but money, right? How can I reach
Yeah,
my next goal? They might not even have pain. They might not even have as such problems. You just got to figure out if their system is good enough. And if not, how can you improve that? Right.
yeah.
So completely be focused on their current system and the problems they're facing with that, if that makes sense.
Now that makes a perfect sense. Thank you.
Kendrick, what's up, bro?
Hey man, um, you mentioned earlier about intent over pain. So how do you create urgency if you only focus on intent? I mean, how do we make an urgency situation for the prospect in that way?
Really good question, bro. Again, this session was specifically for two bots. It doesn't mean we don't focus on urgency, right? It is important. For example, they say they want to make money, right? They want to make, for example, let's say it's a biz op, right? It's a biz op offer. For example, you guys teach how to make money with Airbnb, ecom, XYZ, you know. The way I go about it is I would ask, what is it that they do right now? How long they've been doing that for? How long they've been looking for something else? For example, Airbnb, how long they've been looking into that? For 7 months. Gotcha. Have they tried anything? Right? So have they tried anything? And if they say no, then it's to figure out why, right? Because if they've been looking into something for 7 months, right, and they haven't tried anything, what does that tell you? This guy is procrastinating, and the objection that he might have would be fear, right? Or not enough urgency to make the change. So when you ask why, they might tell you, oh, it was time. Oh, it was finances. Oh shit, what's happening? Hey, yo, stop. Yeah, they might tell you it's finances, time, XYZ. What do you do next, Kendrick? Is you basically ask them, gotcha, so has that been solved now, considering you're looking into this? Is time not an issue anymore? Is money not an issue anymore? They might say, oh, no, yeah, it's not an issue anymore. That's why I'm saying it. Now, the reason I would stop there is because this would give the closer enough ammo to leverage this to help the prospect make the decision that they got to make. For example, if they show up on the call and then they're just being a bit sloppy and they're not making the decision and they're like, hey, yeah, I don't know, perhaps I should think about it, give me a few days. The closer can leverage that and be like, hey, when you were talking with Kendrick, he told me that the thing that has holding you back for 7 months is the fact that you did not have enough time. But as of right now, you said you do have time. So let's be honest here. Like, what's really stopping you, right? Oh, I've just never done this before. Boom, right? He can objection handle and he can kind of close him in, right? So that's how I go about it. If they say yes, then again, it's all about figuring out what have they tried and what went wrong, right? What went wrong? Were they not getting enough support? Were they not getting XYZ, XYZ, XYZ? And one of the questions you can ask is like, if it's a crypto offer, and they say, yeah, I did, I tried crypto before, but it did not work out. But one of the questions that I love is like, do you believe other people are making 10 grand a month with crypto? They're like, yes. Gotcha. So I guess what kind of held you back from making 10 grand a month? Oh, I did not have the right support. Oh, I did not have the right knowledge. Again, what is that? That's ammo for the closer, because when he's making the pitch of your program, he can be like, our support is next tier, right? Because of XYZ. Kendrick mentioned that you need more support. XYZ support has been the biggest problem for you. That's what we can help you with. But again, the whole approach is regarding the intent, right? It's all regarding the intent. Let me ask you this. Do you think can you do a better job than a closer when it comes to creating urgency and helping them make the decision?
No.
Exactly. That's one of the biggest reasons why I like to keep things really basic and to some extent level one deep or surface level, just so the closer have enough ammo to help them convert. Because if you try to push too far, if you try to create a lot of urgency, if you try to get a lot of pain out, if you focus a lot on problems, what's going to end up happening is they're going to ghost you, right? They're just going to end up ghosting you. Because as of right now, they haven't been talking with you. They have no idea what you guys offer. And all you're talking about, you bashing them with questions of intent and urgency and XYZ. So that's the way I go about it. Does that make sense, Kendrick?
Yeah, it does make sense. And another
Sounds.
one, if
Yeah,
it's
bro.
okay,
Yeah.
about the wave analogy earlier, is it,
Mhm.
do we dig deeper always or just every now and then? If they always say some vague words.
Really good question. Now, I believe, well, I would like to assume that the reason you asked this question is because you feel like it might be repetitive if you ask it too much again and again, right?
Yes.
But have you like, I don't know if you've ever heard any closing call or setting call, um, but the closers and setters on phone, they typically ask one question multiple times until they get the response that they need, right? So if they give you a really good response with one clarification and you're like, shit, this is really good and I can just use this and I don't need to dig deeper or else this guy's gonna run away, don't do it. But if you don't get it, then of course you can do it a few times. But the key point is to change your wordings, right? Let me give you one. Um, it by the like, wait a minute. It almost seems like you're on page 17 and I'm on page 10. When you say struggling, what do you mean by that? Could you elaborate for that for me? Right? It almost seems like you're on page 17 and I'm on page 10. It's like, hey, you're running far away, but I'm not catching up with you. Like, what do you mean by struggling? Explain this first so I can catch up to you, right? Um, or another when creating urgency is like, and again, these are all call questions because I've been a phone setter. I use it and the DM as well. Is like, when someone is like telling me about how they've been procrastinating for 3 years and now they're actually ready to build their brand and start working on XYZ, one of the questions that I love to ask is like, I guess like what made you draw the line in the sand and be like, enough is enough, and now is the time to take action. And they would give you a beautiful response, right? So, and bro, you asked a really good question. It's like, by the way, setters, if you guys are not getting good responses based on the questions you're asking, rather than thinking about the fact that the audience might be shit, perhaps the question you're asking are shit. Because the better the question formation is, the more specific it is, the better the response is. Right? For example, if someone asks, why now though? Why do you want to make a change now? Whereas, and I guess like what made you draw the line in the sand and be like, enough is enough, and now is the time to take action? Which one of them is going to get you a better response? Of course, the second one. It's more specific. Like, what made you draw the line this in the sand? And they would give you the deeper reason for why now is the time to take action, right? So again, focus a bit on questions as well. Does that make sense, Kendrick?
Makes sense. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, bro. Leo, I'm gonna get to you in a minute, bro. Quick question. If the prospect doesn't interact much with a probing question I ask him, they don't reply to private chat, acting busy and whatsoever, how do you keep them hooked or interested in the conversation? Hmm. So you're asking them a probing question such as like, what do you mean by that? Can you elaborate that for me? Like these questions, like clarification question, probing questions, just to confirm a lead. Is he there? Yeah, he's there. Yeah, I mean like DM approaching them. Got you. Yeah, they don't reply after the second question. Yeah, they got no shit idea who you are. They don't look up to you as an expert. And that's something I would probably do is I would ghost someone if I have no idea what they do. Right? So if you're using your account, one thing that I would love for you to do is have a really clear bio, have a really good cover, like a banner for your Facebook, have a really good profile picture, post testimonials on your account, and talk about the business you're working with and how you're scaling it up and what you're doing and the client testimonials and the great results you're building. And just like act like a business owner if you're doing cold DMs. And your Facebook should look like a business owner. Because if I reached out to any one of you and I had, I don't know, bro, let me give you a really stupid example. If I had a banner of trees on my cover picture, on my profile picture, there was like the Powerpuff Girls, right? The red one. And on my feed, I was posting memes and what's happening in Pakistan and what's happening in India and Dubai. And I reach out to business owners, they're gonna fucking ignore me. They're gonna be like, who the fuck is this guy? But if I reach out to them now, they're gonna be like, fuck, let me talk with this guy. His account seems interesting. 15 million under the belt with DM setting, right? Oh, he helps DM setters, so he's a coaching program. He's worked with business owners. He got a testimonial there. Again, a lot more authority in these conversations rather than having an empty account. So that's what I would suggest because it's not like, again, how do you keep them hooked or interested in the conversations? Like there is no secret sauce. It's a combination of things that's helped you get to that result, right? And that's why I said if they're not responding back to you, they're not even looking up to you as an expert and they think you can provide them with absolutely no value. That's it. So work on your account, get it set up, and you should get a lot more responses. I hope that makes sense. Sounds good, bro. What's up, Leo? How you doing, bro?
What's up, Jonas? What's up, Jonas? How's it going, bro?
It's going good, bro. It's going good. How's you?
Amazing. I'm doing really good, man. So, as of next week on Thursday, I'm out for school, and so
Mhm.
I'll be eligible to like do full time and everything. Well, I'm just
Let's
wondering,
go.
yeah, it's amazing because I don't have a teacher breathing down my neck every time I try to open my laptop, you know? So I'm kind of curious how I can like use this next 2.5 months to like the fullest potential because I don't really have a plan. Like I wake up, I go to school, I come back, I watch some role play calls, study what I can, talk to some people, but it's all like spontaneous. I don't really have a specific plan in motion, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Such a good question. It's like, how do I make the most out of the time that I have?
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, I think I have a response for you. So, number one is describe the phase of life that you're in, right? And in my opinion, you're in the learning phase, right? The earning is going to come, but it's like the learning phase, right? Of course, we can be on
Mhm.
an offer, all that good stuff, but we're going to be entirely focused on learning new things and improving our skill sets. We're going to
Mhm.
divide it into three aspects, bro, because I believe sales is a lifestyle and it's not a skill, right? So we're going to help you improve with everything and not just sales or phone setting or DM setting. We're going to start with, if I was you, I would double down on my physique, right? I would start working out, a healthy
Mhm.
diet, right? That's number one. I would go on walks, run, and all that good stuff to keep my physique up.
Mhm.
The second thing that I would do is I would think to myself and I would think, what is it that I'm struggling with self-growth wise? Is it my communication skills? Do I have a lot of brain fog? Do I struggle with attention? Do I struggle with getting distracted too soon? Is my focus fucked up? Do I need to do a dopamine detox? Am I using my phone too much? Right. And once I figure that out, I'm going to start reading books on those certain subjects to help me improve with those things. And then finally, I'm going to use the remaining time to improve my sales skills. The way you improve your sales skills, bro, is super simple. Have a bunch of role plays and record all of them and bring me the recordings so we can listen to them together within the academy so I can give you the feedback that you need. Because if you're doing everything on the back end and I have no idea what's happening, I cannot help you, right? But if you're recording role plays, you're coming up and we're doing like 2 role play sessions a week where I'm breaking down and giving you feedback, we can improve tremendously. And then if you do this for a month consistently, having like 4 or 5 phone role plays, 4 or 5 DM role plays every single day for a month, and you're continuously improving and getting feedback, by the next month, we should be on an offer and up and running. So,
Okay. Yeah, that sounds really good. But the thing is, I can ask some people to do role plays, but I'm not really sure who's available. Like, I don't like sometimes they're in different time zones, so our times don't really match and everything.
yeah,
So, yeah, that's an issue. And then I feel like my biggest problems right now is probably my procrastination and attention span. Like, I've done deep dopamine detoxes before. They work for like 2 weeks, and then after that, I'm back to my old habits. So I've
yeah.
tried putting my phone in like a different room and everything. Hasn't really
Mm,
helped, to be honest, because I still find a way to procrastinate. And yeah, I've
yeah.
been in the gym for about 2 months now, consistently. So yeah, that's what I've been working on so far.
Really good, bro. You have to re
Mhm.
and you mentioned something really good, like for 2 weeks and I'm back on track and then I get back to my routine and then I procrastinate again, right? And I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of setters and a lot of people on this call would relate to that.
Mhm.
And like if you had asked me that question last year, I would have been a lot more stoic and would have been like, oh, man up, bro. Don't be a pussy. Just do the things you got to do. But at the
Mhm.
same time, my perspective have changed on that. And the fact is that you've spent 16 years of your life procrastinating in different things without having a consequence or without someone holding you accountable to that, right? So build up habits. And we cannot expect to build a 16-year-old habit in a few months, right? It's
Sure.
unheard of.
Mhm.
Now, the example that I usually give with this is drug addicts, right? The people that do meth, and XYZ, is they usually go to therapy, right? When they get addicted, they get sent to like therapy and stuff like that, come off the drugs and stuff like that. Now, another thing these institutions do is they would get you in touch with someone that has been off drugs for like 3 years or 4 years, and he's clean now. And they're like,
Mhm.
hey, whenever you feel like using drugs or going back to your old habits, you call this person up. You call them as you're feeling like doing it. You don't do it and then call. No, you call them up and you're like, I feel like doing it. I don't know what to do. And you have a conversation with them and they're going to help you. The same concept applies to us, and there's a reason why institutions do it because it works super well. And it is having an accountability group for yourself, right? Now, the
Mhm.
people that are around you, the setters that are on the same journey as you, like beginners on an offer, looking for offers, XYZ, is create an accountability group with them and kind of keep yourself accountable at the end of the day in front of them. So at the end of the day, everyone in the group sends a text of what you did in the day, and you're completely and brutally honest with yourself and with the group. So if you messed up, you're like, I messed up. I did not work. I'm guilty of it. But now I posted this accountability. I would show up tomorrow again with a completely new energy, and I'm gonna absolutely freaking crush it, right? And you're gonna be amazed when you have this accountability system. You might procrastinate for a day, and then the next day you would be back on track because now you have someone holding you accountable,
Mhm.
right? A lot
Yeah.
of people try to deal with it alone, and that does not work. And even at this level, bro, I have accountability coaches. I have accountability partners. I work with Kareem. I text him up. I have my brother. He's in the same space as me. We keep each other accountable. Just like you gotta do those things. Um, because if you're just a complete lone wolf and you feel like, oh, it's like it's weak to have accountability partners, bro, you're gonna mess up at one point, right? So have those partners and it's gonna help you immensely.
Yeah. That makes sense. Thank you so much. I'll try.
Ab- Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Okay. And another part to that as well is sometimes, so there are two reasons one might procrastinate. Number one is they don't have anything to do, right? So their calendar is empty, they're confused what to do, so they just procrastinate to use their phone, XYZ. The second reason is they're just avoiding a hard task, a boring task, something that they don't want to do, right? So to avoid it, they might use their phone for a bit and then it becomes like 3 hours. It's like it takes less time to actually do the thing than it takes to procrastinate and not do the thing, right?
Mhm.
So it's like it takes less time to actually do the thing. So just do the thing. And one of the things that I used to do was I was like, you know what? Because sometimes I did not feel like dialing as a phone setter. So I would just tell myself, like, you know what? I would dial for 10 minutes or 20 minutes and I'm going to set an alarm. If I don't feel like dialing after that, I'm not going to dial. And you're going to be amazed if you do it for 10, 20 minutes, then you're going to continue to do it. You're not going to stop because you're going to get it the flow, right? It's the
Mhm.
first step of making the first dial or doing the first step. After that, it's easy, right? So hope that
Did,
helps.
did that change regardless if you got yeses or nos? Or
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, I never fuck no's, bro. You're gonna get a lot of no's as a setter. A
Mhm.
lot of no's, a lot of no's. And even with all the no's and hey, I'm not interested, hey, you scammer, get out my phone, I still made 35 grand in a single month, right? So it doesn't hurt, bro. Easy stuff.
Mhm. That
Of the
makes sense.
Noor. What's up, bro? You got an offer, by the way. Congratulations on that, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, really.
What can I help you with, bro?
So, man, like, yeah, appreciate it. So, like, what I was curious about that, like, this offer is kind of new, and like the business owner, there was just two people in there, like they were making 20K a month right now. They're about to scale like in maybe 50, I don't know, but they don't tell me. So, what I'm curious is that like the closer, I don't know, man, like the guy's psycho. He does everything. Like he does the closing, he does the setting, he does the setting up the ultimate. He does everything. Okay. So most of the time right now, like all the things that they allowed me to do is just send out 50 outreach to new flowers, the people who follow, just 50 of them.
Yep.
Like I don't know. Whoa. So like there was nothing else that I got to do. But like he told me that by the time that if we think that you're successfully doing this, yeah, maybe we can allow you to do something else. But right now, you gotta focus this 50. And the thing about that, there was a problem about that my VPN wasn't working on the like their account stuff like that. And then I told them, hey guys, that's not gonna work, so I gotta change the things. And like I sent out a message for like yesterday. Like for me right now, it's just late. It's Monday. Like probably it's just I think right now it's just some near to 1 a.m. But it's not.
Yeah.
But for them in America, it's just like the time is still it's not there. So I sent out maybe like I sent a message from them and yesterday, like for me it was Sunday, but like for them it was Saturday.
Yeah.
Up to now, there was no response, man. Like I don't know what happened to them. Like I probably they saw the message, but like there was no
Yeah.
response. I don't know,
Yeah.
like so yeah, that's what I'm curious.
For sure. Let me ask you this question. Are you looking for more offers? Are you jumping on interviews?
No, 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 I stopped that.
Yeah, yeah, don't stop that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned while being in this space for 5 years is the fact that every offer is good until it's not.
Mhm.
Right? The offer where
Yeah.
I made 35 grand as a phone setter on a Monday, I woke up and I was removed from every single channel and I heard the
Okay.
team just got bankrupted and they fired everyone. Right? And I had no interviews, nothing, and so I had to find a job all over again. So what I would do, bro, is I would keep on jumping on interviews and I would keep on
Mhm.
finding a better offer. Because again, if they're making 20 grand a month, it, sure, for a beginner, it might be a good start. But at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I feel like you can find a much better offer and just about looking, right? And the fact is, if you can sell yourself to one interviewer, you can sell yourself to multiple of them. And you don't know. If you keep on doing it for 4 months, you might just come across an opportunity that's making 600K a month. They have a team of 4 DM setters, and all of them are making 6K plus,
Mhm.
right? So that's number one. Number two, bro, is if they tell you you gotta do X, Y, and Z, it is better to just stick with X, Y, and Z, right?
Mhm.
Some business owners, and that's a
Mhm.
thing. A lot of you guys do not ask any questions or do not tell what you expect from the role, right? Or what you're looking from the role, right? And that's, I feel like it's a really bad approach. For example, when I joined the company that I'm managing right now, I clearly told them, I was like, bro, you know, if I come in, number one, I would want like a free hand to do whatever I want to do. If I want to try a new script,
Mhm.
should be able to do that. If I want to build out the team, if I want to hire someone, if I want a certain CTA to be sent out, we're gonna do all of that because I've scaled businesses. I know how it goes. So that's number one. Number two, I want no micromanagement. I don't want anyone to be on my head 24/7 asking me, what am I doing? What's the progress? XYZ. I'm gonna keep you updated by my own. They allowed me that. We went from making 10K a month from the DMs to making 100K a month within 20, 25 days, right? When I initially joined. Now,
Okay.
now I can do that because I have, of course, the results, but you can also do that when you're selling yourself and be like, I'm looking for a role where there's enough room for us to try and test different things to see what works the best, right? That's the kind of team that I want to work in, a team where it's collaborative and we all can work together on something and grow. If you would have said that, you would have had a lot more say in what you guys should be trying and what you guys should be doing and what should be improved and what should we do, right? Because as of right now, they look up to you as a setter that does not know anything but setting, right? So they're
Mhm.
telling you what you gotta do because you're a setter. But when you take that partner approach on these interviews, it's it's a completely different response. It's a completely different vibe.
God
It's a
bless.
completely different energy, right?
Okay.
So that's what I would suggest you, bro. It's like keep on looking for interviews and just do whatever they're telling you as of right now, because some business owners are okay with you trying different things. Some business owners would remove you immediately if you do something that they did not allow you to do, did not tell you to do, right? So
Okay.
stick
Perfect.
stick with what they're telling you to do and do it consistently and make sure you're doing everything they told you to do and they're not running around you asking you, hey, we told you to do this. Have you still done it? And you're like, no, I'm going to get to it right now. Don't do that. Make sure you're doing everything. Speed is there. And once you provide them with some solid results, by that point, you would have some say in the team and you can just kind of navigate and start looking into other things and giving them feedback and ideas.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So one thing, like since I haven't done it already, that side of me, like acting like as a bartender, not as a setter. Like, is there any way that I can do it right now? Because of I think like there was a lot of room for improvement in their side. Like their content is not that much good. Maybe some of their call to action is like stuff like that. It's not that much good. A
Yeah.
little bit. I can do that. Like is there any
Yeah. I'm gonna be super honest with you, bro. The things that I talk about today, the things that you listen to and find so valuable, I used to talk about the same things about 2 years ago. Nobody gave a fuck
okay?
because I had no brand, no results. I had result, but no brand. Nobody looked up to me, and the business owners just did not seem to care. But now that I have the brand, everything I say, even if I say something stupid, it makes sense,
Okay.
right? So it's like it would be a bit difficult to take that frame of being an expert and kind of helping them in the best way possible before you have the results to show for it. So the results is number one. It sucks because I know you can genuinely help them with content. You can help them with automations. You can help them with a lot more, but you cannot do that and they won't trust you because you don't have the results. They're like, hey, we've scaled this to 20K a month. Have you ever scaled a business to 20K a month? No? Okay, let us do what we're doing, right? So
Okay.
that's number one. Number two is mastery before innovation, right? So when someone goes inside a company, they would try to innovate a lot of things. Oh, we should do this. Oh, we should do that. Oh, we should do this. Oh, we should do that. And that, of course, hurts business owners because they have some level of ego within their systems and themselves. Just like you master the current system and you provide
Mm.
tremendous results with the current system, and then you innovate. You're like, hey, I feel like we can improve this if we do X, Y, and Z. Right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
always mastery before innovation. So just master the process they have right now, bring amazing results, and then you can try and tell them what you should be doing. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it does. Like, can you elaborate a little bit about the mastery side?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to clarify the mastery side?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, bro, for sure. So for example, if they have a current system, for example, 50 messages a day to followers, right? And conversing with them and booking calls, ideally just follow up with everyone, do 50 messages a day, book amazing calls, get amazing results, get the money flowing in, get used to the system, get used to the process they have set in place for you, and absolutely master it to an extent. If I wake up at 3 a.m. and I tell you to sit down and do your job, you don't even need to think about it and you start doing it because you've already mastered it and you've been doing it for months, right? And by that
Okay.
point, you can improve, right? For example,
Mm.
with phone setters, right? When I used to hire phone setter, we always used to have a script, right? So, and we used to tell phone setters, hey, just use the script as it is. Don't change anything. No, don't ask stupid question. Don't do anything. Just use the script as it is. And when they used it for long enough, for like 4 months, 5 months, they were super used to it. They could close their eyes, not even listen, and still do the job with the script. And by that point, we allowed them to innovate, to ask more questions, additional questions, because they've already mastered the system, and we know they can innovate and bring better results at that point. So